In every season of our nation's journey, leadership must be defined not by slogans, but by legacy, not by volume, but by values. Welcome to this short presentation as we endeavor to contribute a bit we can to shape the future of our party, Patriotic Front, and that of our nation, Zambia. My name is Raphael Mangani Nakachinda. I'm currently privileged to be Secretary General of Patriotic Front and Tonse Alliance. Today, I present to you 3 portraits. These are not just images of the past. These are reflections of the future Zambia deserves. The first portrait, Michael Chilufya Sata, the founder, the voice of the poor, the thunder for the poor. The first portrait is of the man who started it all, President Michael Chilufya Sata, a leader of the people, a builder of a movement. He believed in a Zambia where every citizen mattered, regardless of tribe, class, or language. He built this party on inclusiveness and the power of the grassroots. That foundation was not political theater. Michael Sata is still alive through the grassroots. His spirit lives on in every ward, in every market, in every township, in every bus stop. To our grassroots members across the country, this is your party. This is a party for everyone, from the marketeers to the taxi drivers, bus drivers, small-scale farmers, jerabos as they call them, barber men, hairdressers, welders, construction workers. It is the party for mothers and grandmothers and everyone, everywhere. This is your party, and no one will take it away from you. PF is not just a party, it is a movement that cannot be stopped. That was Michael Chilufya Sata's vision. Portrait number 2, Edgar Chagwa, the humble defender. This is a portrait of President Dr. Edgar Chagwa, Zambia's 6th Republican president and the 2nd president of Patriotic Front. Dr. Edgar Chagwa, unlike many other politicians, did not rise by ambition. Rather clearly, he rose by divine appointment and the trust of the people. He led Zambia through the very difficult times during droughts and during COVID-19. And he led not with panic, but with prayer. During the COVID pandemic, when the other countries all over the world locked down, he protected the livelihood of those who live hand to mouth. When Zambia was faced with severe drought, he called on the nation to seek God. He declared October 18 a national day of prayer, fasting, and reconciliation. Many times we all witnessed God answering the prayers of the Zambian people. President Lungu was a constitutionalist. He respected the separation of powers, allowing the judiciary to function independently. There were even rulings and judgments against his government. He fulfilled the promise to the people by ensuring that the People's Draft Constitution was adopted, the 2016 Constitution, which introduced stellar provisions such as the one to do with the running mate, 50+1 threshold. Many of you remember him for his stance on LGBT rights, when he refused to legalize ungodly values under foreign pressure. His famous statement was, "We would rather remain poor with our values than to become rich by selling our souls." But he was mocked, misunderstood, maligned by his critics, even in his death. He never stopped loving his country, and that is leadership. That is legacy. Portrait number 3, trust, the leadership charter. The third portrait is not of a man or a woman. It is not about wealth or influence or charisma. The third portrait is trust. T-R-U-S-T. A leadership charter that will guide us today and in the future when choosing leaders. Trust is about the values the people want in their leaders. You see, Zambians have been lied to for a long time. Zambians feel betrayed, sold out, and this must come to an end. From now onwards, we must not be seduced by shiny slogans or sweet-talking salesmen that disguise themselves as politicians or leaders. The next PF leader must pass the test of trust. What do each of the letters in the word trust stand for? T stands for transparency. The question all of us must ask those who are offering themselves for leadership is, who are you? What do you own? What do you believe? The people have the right to know, not just your name, but your truth. No more shadows, no more secret hands, no foreign strings. The time for puppet government is over. We will not entrust our future to a face we cannot see or a voice we cannot trace. If you cannot stand before the people with open hands and a clean heart, you must step aside. R stands for responsibility. Are you willing to take responsibility? No more this blame game of previous government. No more distractions. No more hiding behind yesterday. The next leader must step up, not with fingers pointed at others, but with sleeves rolled. Zambia needs politicians and leaders that understand that it's their responsibility to bring positive change. Zambia needs a builder. This is a time for courage, a time for answers, a time for action. U stands for unity. Very critical and crucial for Zambia at this particular juncture. True leaders are unifiers. Whether they hold the title or the title is held by someone else. The nation of Zambia needs a unifier. The question is, if you are not chosen as you offer yourself for leadership, will you still purposefully contribute to the unity of the party and of the nation? If you are chosen, will you embrace those who challenged you? The next leader must not gather voters only. They must gather people. They must bind the wounds, silence factions, and rally the nation not to themselves, but to a shared vision and future. Without unity, there will be no victory. S stands for service. We have seen regimes who serve the interests of foreign businesses and foreign entities. Zambia's small businesses are subjected to taxes, while its multinationals are given extended tax holidays. We have seen how barber shops and saloons and butcheries and restaurants, people welding on our streets, have closed their businesses due to lack of electricity here in Zambia. While our electricity is exported to neighboring countries and beyond, that cannot continue. Zambians deserve better. They deserve a leader who is committed to save Zambia first. Those who wish to lead the Patriotic Front, those who wish to lead the Tonse Alliance, must commit to put Zambia first, to save our people first before we can consider the plight of multinationals. Zambia must come first. T is for transformation, real jobs, functional clinics, new schools, not empty promises. If you wish to lead the Patriotic Front, you must commit to transforming the lives of the people of Zambia, especially the poor. Transform the nation, its infrastructure. We should bring the nation to a place where Our developmental agenda is human-centered, centered on the poor. This is the transformation that the nation yearns for. To every loyal member of Patriotic Front, the dream of Michael Chilufya Sata is still alive. It lives in our hearts, in our conviction, in our courage. In your community, it lives on in all of us, from the grassroots to the secretariat. To every Zambian who remembers the dignity and compassion and resolve of Edgar Chagwa Lungu, hold fast to the legacy, humble, principled, God-fearing, and from it we should draw strength. This is no longer a party of chaos. This is a movement for women and youth, of humility and transformation. There is no room for fake promises and lies in the PF. That we say no. Including Tonsa Alliance, we follow President Lungu's example, love for all, humility in all seasons, and a willingness to grow in service of the people. And to those who seek to lead us, brace yourself. We face a regime that will stop at nothing. They have abused the law. They have weaponized the police. They have done everything illegal and criminal to silence dissent in this country. They will come for you. But hear me, and hear me well. The next PF president will not rise on money. They will not rise on propaganda. They will not rise on empty.
Good day and thank you for joining us. Some of you could be watching the official opening ceremony for AFCON, the Africa Cup of Nations, have started for a 1 month period. I guess it will take away the heat and politics that's going on. However, we thought that we could come to share with you our thoughts on this broadcast. We are discussing vote protection. Can the opposition mount a strategy to protect the vote, thereby protecting the will of the people? Can the opposition do that? Share the broadcast. This is very, very important because it involves civic participation. It involves our people taking an active participation. Like I remember the strategy for Mr. Sata in 2011, where he told people to go with their own pen. And he said, don't trust the pen that will be given to you, and to wait at the polling station or go and have your lunch or food. But when they are closing the poll, be there, ensure that your vote is counted. That is the beginning of protecting the vote. Before it is then gathered, collected, and then announced at Civic Center, how can you protect that vote? We also discussed briefly electronic voting because there are plans underway, plans afoot to introduce electronic voting. There are many things happening, and so share this broadcast. People could be watching football. You can watch football and listen to this broadcast. It's very, very important. So wherever you are, please share the broadcast. This will involve our people. It will involve our people participating, not just the leaders, not just the political parties. Let me start with passing my condolences to Honorable Peter Kapala, Peter Chwe Kapala. We grew up together in Luansha. He went to the same school I went, Ron Antelope Secondary School. He was my senior, and his brother is a friend of mine, Jeff, who lives here in the United States. Honorable Peter Kapala has lost his beloved wife, Madam Charity Kapala. They've been secondary school sweethearts. They've been together from secondary school. And I know that this is a huge personal loss to Honorable Peter Kapala. He's a minister of livestock. He's former minister of energy. And our condolences, both on behalf of the Patriotic Front and on my personal behalf, knowing Honorable Peter Kapala, that we mourn with you over the dear loss of your wife, especially that she just had a short illness, and that becomes, all death are painful, but that becomes a very painful loss. They've been together, like I said, from when we all knew them. They've been together. we put to rest our own help. I had shared here that we lost our help, and Lontia Mwanza, she has been with us for 21 years. She knows all our children. She taught them Nyanja. While we were teaching them English, she taught them Nyanja. And she was wonderful. She was like a godmother to my children. She was put to rest yesterday at Mutumbi ceremony. And thank you for my family members in Lusaka that attended the funeral of my kids, and everyone else, my aunties, and then the family of Auntie Lontia Mwanza, led by Mr. Piri. My condolences to you once again. Then I'd like to extend my condolences to Honorable Gary Nkombo. I've learned that he lost his sister, and they were putting her to rest yesterday. Our deepest condolences to Honorable Gary Nkombo. Ichirilonga chaisaba ne kulo shanya. We put aside our politics and express our humanness, our ubuntu of who we are. Before I go to vote protection, there is a subject we must discuss. Chawama by-elections. What will happen in Chawama by-election is a clear window of what will happen in the 2026 elections. I'll come and explain why. Let me present to you the three major participants in these elections.
Support our candidate batu onani development yenebaleta kuno they were acting MP baba tasira lungu batasira kwa sibenze pondebenzo sebenza chito zonse bafunika tianti uze boza baletienda kuti baja bene bezo acting MP manje bapitiri support our candidate batu onani development yenebaleta kuno they were acting MP baba tasira lungu batasira kwa sibenze pondebenzo sebenza chito zonse bafunika tianti uze boza baletienda kuti baja bene bezo acting MP manje bapitiri Balongobane, my dear friends, what will happen in Chawama is a reflection of what will happen in the general conference. Let me start by stating I had said this for Munali constituency. You know, the Patriotic Front picked an unknown character, an unknown candidate in Munali constituency. Samuel Mbila Patrick was a teacher at Munali Secondary School. No one knew him. But the party wanted to use the arrogance of its numbers, the power of the ruling party to impose a candidate over popular candidates. There were popular candidates that could have been picked. Thomas Sipalo, for example. The UPND were left with Mposha Mike, the current minister of green economy. He was water development and sanitation minister. Mposha is previously MMD. I think he somehow aligned with, under Felix Mutati, aligned with the UPND in that alliance, and they picked him. But he was the least popular candidate. The PF, remember the PF has held that seat from 2006. The PF is deeply rooted in Munali. And it was held by Mumbipiri, then Nkanduluo, and now she was a running mate, so they had to get a candidate. So I don't know where they got Patrick Samwimbila. He was not popular, but they thought they could impose him. So in that election, they didn't pick Thomas Sipalo, the famous Difficult, Professor Difficult. And he stood as an independent. Mposha, like I said, was the least popular. He has a history. He's former mayor and is former councillor in the area. But in 2021, it was an election that should have gone to Thomas Sipalo. So the main PF candidate, Samwimbila, scored 29,214 votes. Thomas Sipalo, Professor Difficult, as an independent, scored 30,585. And Mposha Mike won that election with 35,000 votes. So if you look at the likely PF votes, there were two UPND votes there. Lillian Mutambo, who the UPND didn't pick, only scored 2,800. They picked Mike Mposha, who stood on the UPND ticket, and he won with 35,000. If you combine the two votes for Lillian and Mike Mposha that were representing UPND, that's 37,000. But if you combine Thomas Sipalo and Samwimbila Patrick's votes, that gives you 60,000. If PF had adopted a popular candidate in Munali, they would have won that election with a huge landslide. This is what will happen in Chawama. In Chawama, we have a sad scenario. Let me go to Chawama. We have a very sad scenario where we are featuring literally three PF candidates. So the UPND had featured Timothy Kantengwa, a candidate who's not known on the ground, and I think who's only linked to the UPND is that he marshals financial muscle through the network. I think the Lebanese or Greek community that he's been working with for a long time. So Timothy, I think, was picked on account of money than on account of popularity. In the end, they picked Morgan Munda. From what we understand, Morgan Munda may not even have a grade 12 certificate, but whatever it is the candidate is filed in. We don't know under which grade 12 certificate. Morgan is a grassroots politician. He's been a Munali, he's been a Chawama vocalist, vocal voice of the people of Chawama. He is quite popular. So they did very well to drop Timothy Kantenga and bring in Morgan Munda because they realized that they learned on the day of filing of nominations that Timothy has never voted before and was only registered as a voter just recently, so he was not qualified. Remember, the current register for people that have registered has to be checked, verified, and certified. So even if you are registered as a voter now, you're not a registered voter yet until it goes through that certification process. So Timothy was not qualified. So the UPND, Gary Nkombo and these people had to eat humble pie and bring the same Morgan Munda, controversial. Like I said, his colleagues, is a Chawama product. His colleague doubt if he even has a grade 12 certificate. But he's a grassroots mobilizer and is very strong on the ground. So Morgan Munda was picked by the UPND. The PF Tonse Alliance
using FDD as a interim special purpose vehicle, have picked Bright Nundwe. Bright Nundwe is former PS. I'll come and speak about it. Copperbelt. The Citizen First have picked another PF member, Davison Mlenga, who's the Citizen First. Davison Mlenga, remember, was our district commissioner until 2021. He's also very strong in Chawama. Leadership movement have picked Ntazana Musukuma. The New Congress Party have picked Muhammad Mutete. So I want to discuss the three candidates: Morgan Munda of the UPND, Bright Nundwe, Davison Mlenga, and Muhammad Mutete, the four candidates, and why this is a window to what will happen in 2026 elections if we feature candidates in a multiplicity manner. I've just given you a window of where we featured in Munali an unpopular candidate in Patrick Samwimbila, unknown, former teacher at Munali Secondary School. I don't know what links he had with whoever he had links with, but he was not a popular candidate. We left out popular candidates. And but the two candidates, Patrick Samwimbila and Thomas Palo, scored 60,000 votes, while the two candidates for UPND, who was Mike Imposha and Lillian Mutambo, scored 37,000, a runaway lead when you consolidate the votes. Why is Chawama very dangerous for the opposition, and why is it giving us a window of what will happen if we do not unite, we don't present a united candidate? It's for this reason. Let me start with Bright Nundwe. I've known him, he's a colleague for a long time. He attempted to stand in Chawama in 2011. He was told, well, he participated, him and Chalwe were quite strong, but there was a candidate that had been standing in Chawama, since 1996. In 1996, Edgar Chagwalungu stood as an independent. In 1998-99, Edgar Lungu joined UPND. But when Mr. Sata formed his party, Patriotic Front, in 2001, Mr. Edgar Lungu left UPND and joined Mr. Sata. And Mr. Lungu was the first candidate that the PF featured. Among the first candidates, Sylvia Charlie Kosa, our former minister at Office of the Vice President, stood in Munali in 2001. And Edgar Chagwalungu stood in Chawama. They didn't succeed. Edgar Lungu in 2006 was the most popular because remember in 1996 when he stood, he became number 2 to General Christon Tembo and even beat, I think, the FDD candidate. There was a by-election in between. There was a by-election when General Christon Tembo resigned. FDD won that election. But the 1996 election, Edgar Lungu was number 2 to General Christon Tembo. That's how strong Edgar Lungu was in Chawama. So in 2006, Mr. Sata just said, no, it doesn't matter how popular you are, I'm featuring women. So he bumped off all candidates in Matero, in Chawama, in Munali, in Mandevu. This is when Jean Kapata came. This is when Reverend, I forget. You can tell me in the comments. The women that took over Lusaka under PF. PF was very popular in 2006. So Edgar Lungu was told to step aside, like many candidates, male candidates, because Mr. Sata said women and women participation. The women could not have been strong, but PF had become so strong. In 2011, now President Lungu, because the Reverend who stood there defected under that NCC when Mr. Sata punished over 22 MPs. The candidate for the MP for Matero and Munali went to the NCC and other 22 MPs. So Mr. Sata started afresh. So he gave that seat to Edgar Lungu. But in that seat, there was Sichalwe, Honorable Sichalwe, and there was a young man, Bright Nundwe, who participated in the primaries, but they picked Edgar Lungu. So in 2016, Nundwe tried to come back to that seat. He was told, no, there's a queue here. Look, Edgar Lungu had been waiting since 1996. Now Sichalwe, who was also a very strong councillor in the area, is 10. So Bright Nundwe waited, and we featured Honorable Sichalwe, and Bright was rewarded and became a permanent secretary on the Copper Belt. In 2021, he attempted to come back. Remember, Honorable Tasila Lungu had stood as a councillor in the 2016 elections. And by 2021, she had become very popular, partly because she was a daughter to the president, to the late president, but also because she was a grassroots operator. People didn't understand this young girl who has lived her life in the United States, how she just became an ordinary person in Chawama, giving out shoes, digging boreholes, sitting with communities where the issues were. So Tasila apparently was a front runner for many factors, including that she was had become a grassroots mobilizer. So Bright Nundwe again passed the opportunity. I understand that he had even begun to fraternize with Lundazi. I think the young man is Tumbuka, Mwanishwaba Tumbuka. And there was supposed to be a delimitation process in Lundazi, and he thought he could get his opportunity. But be as it may, Bright Nundwe is not new to Chawama. He's been in the queue since 2011. In the wisdom of the party, maybe that is why the PF picked him, proposed him to the Tonse Alliance, which then, the special purpose vehicle has been NCP, New Congress Party. But there are issues around New Congress Party, and we now chose FDD. Because remember, the leader in NCP has been crying foul that they wanted to take over the party from him, and that they wanted to undermine him, they wanted to replace him. Of course, there were those plans not to undermine or replace him. There was a plan to transition members of the Patriotic Front, to take them to the National Congress, National Congress, Peter Chanda's party. New Congress Party. So the sitting 2 weeks ago of Tonse Alliance decided that they should feature under FDD as they resolve the issues around New Congress Party, because Pastor Peter Chanda has been issuing controversial statements. He has accused the acting president of PF of trying to overthrow him, and he has all of a sudden been issuing statements for UPND. Some uncharacteristic statements is our MP, our Tonse MP from Petauke, was made to vote for Bill 7. So we had birthed a child under Tonse Alliance in Petauke, and if we lose Peter Chanda, we may lose our MP, and we may lose the special purpose vehicle we had picked, and begin to experiment with others like we are doing in FDD. So let's go to Muhammad Mutete. Muhammad Mutete is currently a councillor in Chawama. She's also a CDF chairperson, and over the last 4 years has worked very closely with Honorable Tasila Lungu. We all know, we are all family. Bright Nundwe, Muhammad Mutete, and Citizen First candidate Honorable Davis Mlenga. These are all from one family, the PF. Muhammad Mutete, being very active in the last 4 years with Honorable Tasila Lungu, is a very popular candidate. And what has poisoned this process is the issues I've just explained, that is standing on New Congress Party, which is having unresolved issues. Remember, Mr. Chanda even announced a pullout out of Tonse Alliance. So, although Muhammad Mutete is a popular candidate, he's standing on what you may consider a poisoned chalice. The New Congress Party is not standing well with the Patriotic Front and with Tonse Alliance. I am getting to all these explanations to demonstrate that, like we did in Munali, where an unpopular candidate, won that election, and the opposition, despite the huge numbers they had, lost the election. What will happen in
You don't have to be a rocket scientist. What will happen in Chawama is that Morgan Munda from UPND, he's quite popular, but like I said, we don't even know if he has a grade 12 certificate. He's been a great mobilizer for the UPND. Not for the UPND necessarily. He's a community mobilizer. I have seen Morgan Munda for many years when he was just he was a youth leader there. He's fraternized with many parties, but he's a youth leader in Chawama. He will get this seat. I don't have to say he may get the seat. I will say he will get the seat. Because what will happen is you have Bright Nundwe, very good candidate. He's been associated with Chawama since 2011 when he wanted to stand, 2016, 2021. You have Muhammad Mutete, currently one of the most popular candidates in Chawama. You have former district commissioner Davison Mulenga, who's standing on Citizen First. These will split the vote. You don't have to be a scientist. Set aside emotions. Don't accuse me that I'm saying the UPND candidate or supporting the UPND candidate. It's just very simple. If you have watched elections in our country, and that's why I picked Munali, we will lose that seat unless we resolve this issue, especially between the PF. Muhammad Mutelo, who's standing on a party we have conflict with, and Bright Nundwe, who's standing on the FDD, approved candidate from the PF and Tonse. The two will sabotage themselves because they have very strong loyalties from the people of Chawama. And they'll pave way. And then Citizen First is also getting from the dam of the PF because Captain Davis Mlenga, the former district commissioner, has been associated with the Patriotic Front for a long time. Tasila's votes are being split in three. Citizen First, Captain Davis Mlenga, Bright Nundwe, FDD candidate under Tonse, and Muhammad Mutete under New Congress Party. Even if you called New Congress Party names, they are working with President Hakainde Hichilema. Our community in Chawama will be looking at Muhammad Mutete, that is a current CDF chairperson. And if you pull out all recent pictures, is with Honorable Tasila Lungu, standing with Tasila Lungu, speaking for Tasila Lungu, standing as a councillor in the area. This is what will happen in the 2026 elections. If we let Brian Munduwile stand alone, we let Harry Kalaba stand alone, we let Fred Membe stand alone, we let KBF stand alone. These are strong forces. They'll divide the vote. And Ichilema, akesa enda fefidia Mike Imposhaish de enda munadi. Pa, and you take the presidency. It's not rocket science, it's just common sense. When you split the vote, you pay very heavily. What is happening in Chawama is totally uncalled for. Between Honorable Given Luwinda, between Honorable Hari Kalaba, and between Peter Chanda, this matter must be resolved. If it is not resolved, what will happen in Chawama is what will happen in the country. You have an opportunity to test your patience, your negotiating skills, your attempt to reach to the other. Can you reach out to Peter Chanda? Can you reach out to Hari Kalaba? Can Honorable Given Luwinda and his team from Tonse Alliance put this family together and see what can come out of this? Or are we going to act selfishly and pretend that our candidates will win when we know that they'll produce 3 separate voting blocks? And the UPND, a candidate, Morgan Munda, who may not even have a grade 12 certificate, will become the MP. It's just for a short period, for 2 months, but it demonstrates what we are talking about. If you have a say of what is happening in Chawama and you agree with my analysis, please call on the numbers that is given here and we will hear from you. My analysis is very clear. Morgan Munda, pants down, can be beaten by Muhammad Mutete or Davison Mlenga
or Bright Nundwe. These three candidates can beat the UPND with his machinery, with his gifts he's giving, all the money is splashing. One candidate among these three can beat them. But the candidates, the way they are, both the three, the way they are participating, I can tell you, Morgan Munda will be the next. On January 15th, when we go to elections, Munda will emerge as a winner. Because Davison Mulenga from Citizen First will pull a large number. Bright Nundwe has been associated with Chawama since 2011. He will pull another number. Muhammad Mutete, who's the current CDF chair, who has also sympathies with Honorable Tarsila Lungu, will pull his own numbers. My challenge to you, the opposition, if you are serious with your work, if you are serious with what we are doing in 2026, there is a test, an active test. I wish to commend Honorable Fred Membe that I think Fred stood down his candidate for Socialist Party and supported the candidate for Tonse. So my public challenge is to Honorable Given Lubinda, Honorable Harry Kalaba, and Honorable Peter Chanda. Wane veningawa ume ubo abo ichalo chilelo le shapo come together, resolve the Chawama crisis. If nothing is done, you, the three of you, will have handed over that seat to the UPND. That seat is a PF seat, and you have both a legal and moral obligation, especially that it has been taken away unfairly from Tarsila Lungu. It has been, and she has been barred to participate in that election, again, unfairly. Remember, even if she were to challenge the law, the expulsion, there was a constitutional ruling that said the ECZ are mandated to proceed with the election, even if there is a challenge in court. Very, very ridiculous judgment. But we owe it to Tarsila Lungu that we win Chawama. I think that could be the best gift. This seat has been under PF since 2006. Since 2006. Why would we lose it over a selfish approach? So mwe bantu bakwalesa bonsa bani ntungulu shandi, but I'm putting out an open challenge. Honorable Given Luwinda, Honorable Harry Kalaba, Honorable Peter Chanda, ikale npamo. Agree on which candidate you can feature. Let the others withdraw. And remember, now we have Bill 7, which has become Act number 13 of 2025. So you don't even need to go to, there'll be no fresh nominations. Just agree which candidate can feature on behalf of the opposition. The others should withdraw. There'll be no fresh nominations. I know we are jostling to test our mettle that who can, in the next 8 months, win the elections. So President Harry Kalaba says we can. The PF are saying we can. KBF is saying we can. Socialist Party President Fred Membe says we can. But on this program, we've always advocated for unity. So Fidafionse Tulanda, let's put it to test in this election. Can you demonstrate to us that you can come together and ensure that we get that seat? I repeat, that seat is going to Morgan Munda. If Muhammad Mutete and Captain Davison Mlenga and our dear brother Bright Nundwe's issues are not resolved urgently. That's why I'm making an appeal to the Tonse chairperson that is up to him to demonstrate leadership. Fred Membe has done his part. He came to Tonse, supported the candidate of Tonse. Citizen First are featuring another popular candidate, Captain Davis Mulenga. Then we have the young man, CDF chair and councillor in the area, also a strong candidate, standing under, it's a poison chalice, but I don't know. It's still associated with us. Some of his sponsors are still associated with us, so we can speak to Peter Chanda. That's my challenge. Today we are discussing, can the opposition protect the vote? We want to Bakwalesa. This is what I wrote And let me just explain why I am getting skeptical. A lot of people are saying, Ambassador Mwamba, don't give up. I am not giving up. I'm just giving a warning. Okay? I'm just giving a warning as a political analyst, having watched and participated in elections or campaigned at national level, literally having, like in the 2014 election, literally having been other than chair for media and strategies in 2014. And I was literally the campaign manager, because the campaign manager at the time, Bawili Nsanda, was unwell. And remember, we lost him just 2 months after Edgar Lungu won that election. Our presidential manager. So our committee literally was the chair for that election. So when we won, it's not that we are saying that we are afraid of Ichilema or we are giving up. No, it helps in the planning. Let me read why I expressed concern about 2026 and the opposition. I said we'll be discussing vote protection strategy. Can the opposition prevent the manipulation and rigging of the 2026 election? Can the Electoral Commission of Zambia deliver a credible and free and fair election in 2026? Question mark. President Hakainde Hichilema, who is also a constitutional delinquent and a candidate for impeachment and future arrest, has initiated serious plots and mechanisms to undermine the 2026 general election. He started this from day one in 2021. He began a process to decimate, to attempt to kill, destroy the PF, to steal it, kill it, and destroy the PF. And he has managed, at the moment, the president of the PF is President Hakainde Hichilema, through his stooge, expelled MP Robert Chavinga. The PF significance is that it's the largest political party in our country. Even today, if you call Shangombo, you call Zambezi, you call Chama, you call Undazi, you call Siavonga, you will find a leadership structure of the PF and many members, many who still have that green chitenge in their homes. The UPND, you may not find them across the country, although they're a ruling party. They're actually the second largest party. They've attempted over the last 4 years to plant themselves in the north, and on the Copper Belt. In fact, the many people that voted for UPND and President Hakainde Hichilema are PF members who were protesting for various reasons, that they were either sidelined or that the PF had picked a candidate who was unpopular, or that there were issues, they had issues themselves, and they are the ones in Eastern Province, Muchinga, Northern Luapula, Copperbelt and Lusaka, who voted PF members for President Hakainde Hichilema. So the largest political party is a PF, and that is why President Hakainde Hichilema has concentrated on trying to destroy it. Then he has systematically attacked the opposition. From Fred member to everyone, we have a criminal offense, manufactured, processed, and designed to take us to jail. So he has not just undermined the PF, he has undermined just the opposition and critics. Currently, that they've got a plan afoot to attempt to destroy the Oasis Forum, because they realize the Oasis Forum has capacity to mobilize the country against them. And what the Oasis Forum gave them a window. So there is a highly financed scheme to buy voices. For example, if they go to CCZ, they will say, who are the members? And they want those members, people are calling, I'll pick your call just soon. They want those members to rise against the CCZ leadership. They are doing the same with EFZ. So they are looking for pastors and reverends to rise against. They know that the Catholic Church, there's nothing they can do. They've attempted, but there's nothing they can do. So they've targeted this. And then they are targeting Lungisan Zulu, the current last chair. There's an active plot to attempt to decimate the Oasis Forum through threats, through impeachment, through an active plan that is being implemented. So Oasis Forum, ukwalinsoke takwafuile muntu, I'm warning you that there's an active plan, well financed, to work against you in your constituent formation. To attack Oasis Forum, they have to attack LAS, they have to attack CCZ, they have to attack EFZ, and even the Catholic Church, the bishops. That's why you have seen these funny ministers saying they are senior members of the Catholic Church. There's no such thing as senior members of the Catholic Church. So there is a plan afoot because they think that Oasis Forum is a mobilization force. Ngakuli nshita yaku ikatana maboko. It is now. Hold hands, close ranks. Oasis Forum, don't say you were not warned. I've just given you this information. The appointment of officials at the Electoral Commission of Zambia, Mwangala Zalomis as chairperson, was the first opportunity to compromise the ECZ. Remember, the ECZ has always been led by either a High Court judge and sitting High Court judge and Supreme Court judge. From the periods when it was created, when there was Judge Boalia, who had come from Botswana, to the last, Supreme Court judge, Judge Esa Ochulu, the president got a UPND cadre from the street to head the ECZ. That was the beginning of the trouble. Honorable Mwangala Zalomis, make no mistake, she knows the electoral process of our country. She was a lawyer for UNIP. She participated in election petition for UNIP. That is why President Mwanawasa appointed her to head the Electoral Reform Technical Committee to attempt to reform the electoral system after the 2001 election. So she's very well versed with the electoral process. Don't take it away from her. That is why she's a danger to the system if she's not working for the Constitution and if she's not working for our country. The president appointed McDonald Chipenzi. Same. McDonald Chipenzi headed FODEP. FODEP is an election observer organization, one of the well-financed, long-term NGO that has just whittled out in the last 5-7 years. But it was a major force from 1991, FODEP. McDonald Chipenzi was privileged. Stanley Mwango and others have been privileged to have been presidents of FODEP. So Chipenzi was used very well in the last election with his NGO gears. They mobilized up to 60,000 monitors who were in each polling station. So don't underestimate McDonald Chipenzi. If he's not working for the country, if he's not working under the umbrella of the Constitution. You have Brown Kasaro. Kasaro is an IT expert. In 2016, he was fired, removed from ECZ because he attempted to manipulate results for President Hakainde Hichilema. He was ICT director at the time. The ECZ went into a settlement. They never prosecuted him, but he was arrested, detained. But in the end, they didn't prosecute him. They went into an understanding and there was mutual separation. That's Brown Kasoro, highly qualified ICT expert and very qualified at elections. He's a consultant to many independent electoral commissions in Africa. If Brown Kasoro is playing a partisan role, you have to worry because he knows the system, is qualified, is now currently the chief electoral officer. And recently they employed a very controversial figure, Dr. Collins Kachaka. Dr. Collins Kachaka was facing disciplinary charges at the University of Zambia for manipulating those IT results to favor students. He was not prosecuted, but it's one of the reasons he was removed. He's also a highly qualified ICT expert. The ECZ team is extremely formidable, as I've just narrated. When you know the system, you can manipulate the system. And we have seen how they are working. And how are they doing this besides the other issues? Is that they are working alongside the ECZ, the UPND, is collaborating at a very strong level. And we discovered this in the by-elections. In the by-elections, first we started noticing the pattern in the ward elections that were taking place everywhere. It's like they were honing a skill. So what they were doing in these by-elections is that we would campaign the entire 30 days. The UPND youths, thugs, would only turn up a day before elections. And they would target two places, our party agents and number two, our camps. So they would go to where our campaign teams were gathered, where our party agents would be gathered. There'll be a violent attack against the camp. Then the following day, the UPND will ensure that the party agents for the PF or whoever the opposition is chucked out of the polling station when voting is taking place. So our party agents from the opposition are not available during voting and counting. They are attacked in a systematic manner. You can ask Fred Membe, who has participated in most of these by-elections in Muchinga, Northern and Lopla province. He found that scenario. Even the case that he's facing of assault and discharging a firearm arose because his team was attacked, ambushed. It was the day before election. So it was either Fred Membe's life or himself. So he got his firearm and discharged in the air to scatter these marauding, rampaging UPND cadres. Then the system became very perfect. Ask Sean Tembo in Kawambwa. Ask Jean Chisenga, Mambilima MP. Ask Celestine Mukandila, our current acting Deputy Secretary General. They'll tell you how the UPND have done it. We saw it in Mwense. You know, when we lost, is it Humphrey Kapapa as council chairperson, and the UPND were featuring their Deputy National Youth Chairperson Chikota. The one was involved in Sujilite scandal and was being prosecuted for Sujilite in Chembe. They did the same. We campaigned, we were sure that it was our seat. The violence came a day before elections. They attacked our camps, and on the day of voting, they ensured that our party agents were chucked out of the polling stations. We have tabled these complaints again and again with ECZ that you are collaborating with UPND. You are only allowing UPND party agents. This process was only repelled when we had council chairperson in Feira, where Emmanuel Tembo and Christopher Shakafuswa repelled the MMD led by Obvious Mwaliteta. And Obvious Mwaliteta raised this violence, but Emmanuel Tembo and Christopher Shakafuswa were ready for them. And we won that seat. We saw similar issues in Lusangazi, but at the time, they hadn't honed how perfect the system is. But in Kawambwa, in Pambashe, in Lumezi, in Mfuwe, this system has become so perfect, so flawless. While President Hakainde Hichilema is preaching that there's no violence in elections, we see it every day. Our party members see it, are violated, sometimes even in the presence of the Zambia police, and the police do nothing about it. Are we able to secure the 12,700 polling stations or more? Are we able to provide party agents? Sometimes katwatwala kwa kaskulu awa grade 12, they are just intimidated. No lupifia lumo awa ichebabu tuka. Can we put people that can stand? Remember what UPND did? They had gears to provide the monitors, an NGO. They had party agents, and they recruited former policemen and former soldiers to man those elections. And in the area for Southern, Western, and Northwestern province, they just mounted a violent attack and ensured that they removed all PF party agents in that elections. And the collaboration with ECZ was so open. And they remember what they did, where they kept on lying. Where, you know, when you have put party agents, many people don't know the mechanisms of elections. When you've put party agents, you have to take water for them. You have to take food at lunch, because the election is 12 hours. In some cases, 16 hours, depending if there's an extension. When our people were taking food or water, they were accused that they are taking pre-printed ballot papers. This was a communication by President Hakainde Hichilema to his infrastructure. If you see anyone coming, just say they are carrying printed ballot papers. And there were violent attacks against our people. And their machinery was very effective. Chito kwa printed ballots. Uyu. And you remember what happened to Jackson Kungo. When he took water and food for our party agents, they said he had come with printed ballots to give to his party agents. Our party agents in Solwezi were taken out, and Kungo was ruthlessly murdered in front of the police, in front of ECZ, in front of the community. He was a worst case scenario, but this happened everywhere. Is anyone thinking, or we are just jostling to get the presidency? Do we understand the machinery required to counter an effective state process like probably Hakainde did in 2021? Who is thinking the way I'm thinking? Who is worried the way I'm worried? So when I express worry, Mlenja at your Ambassador Mwamba, let's just pray. I am a devout Christian. I have various testimonies of how the Lord has sustained me. I have been, I don't know, if Christ lives anywhere, I always say he starts with me. I'm a devout Christian, so my faith is never shaken. But I know that there are many times that, for Christ's all miracles, someone had to provide the water to be turned to wine. Someone had to provide the 2 fish and 5 loaves for him to turn it to feed 5,000. There's something that you have to do. Even the coming of Christ, the Lord says, don't be like those virgins who ran out of their oil and slept. There's something you have to do yourself. Yes, there is prayer, but can you stay up to midnight? Can you stay and ensure that vote is counted? Can you stay? What will you do? Can you monitor that and plan that the police may not help us? And that if they come to chase us, the UPND thugs, we will repel them like Shaka Fuswa, Christopher, and Emmanuel Tembo did in Farah. Are we able to raise like that? Yes, thank you, God, for the prayers. Yes, I know the Lord knows the beginning from the end. But what I know is that even if victory is assured, sometimes you have to go to war like Joshua did. To secure, you have to fight. Joshua had 10,000 soldiers. He looked at them. He said, I've got lazy people here. They can't win the war. He began to subject them through tests. And he remained with 300 people to counter this major army that was going to invade Israel. So mwabantu bakwalesa mwabalelanda tiyole somwine na ishiba yole kentule pepa. Yes, lesa na ishiba. But there is a call on you. What shall you do? Don't leave it just to prayer. Have you registered as a voter? Will you ensure that you vote? And even when you vote, will you ensure that you stand by your vote? Another, Professor Kasonso raised an issue that people don't want to discuss. He says, I don't understand. He says, I understand why President Hakainde Hichilema's team is very insistent on attacking the Catholic Church, and he doesn't see reconciliation between them. Professor Jones Kasonso, one of the most qualified auditors in the world, and he has a PhD in accounting. He may not be a good politician, but he's very qualified. So they've been trying to scandalize him because he offers opinion. One of the key opinions he gave, he says he finds bias and disposition by the president, because the president is an Adventist. And the Adventists rely on end time message when the world will come to an end. There is an issue of the Antichrist. And remember, one of their best theologian and literally prophet there associates the Pope and the Catholic figure as the likely Antichrist that will emerge. So Professor Kasonso put it that the bias against a Catholic and the attack against a Catholic is coming inherently from that teaching of an Adventist. It's something people don't want to discuss, but Professor Kasonso brought it up. And I said, you could be right. Because when I was a Pentecostal, and when we had to move from the UCZ, and as Pentecostals, remember there was a breakaway where the UCZ didn't believe that you can be born again. I don't know what they were teaching then. Of course, they've since reformed and they've accepted the renewal. But there was that rift in the UCZ. And you see it. Religious convictions are very dangerous. You begin to see your own brother and sister as evil. They don't want to accept Christ. They don't want to accept that you can be born again. That to the extent that the church broke. So there is also this simmering tensions between the Catholic and the SDA because of what the SDA believes of what will happen to the world. Who will rise as the Antichrist? And one of their prophets does relate to the issues of the Pope. Until we bring these issues to the surface, because why is the SDA church, which has never participated in politics, now very actively in politics? People are asking. Could it be where they think that they're protecting one of their own, that for the first time they've become partisan? Mwantu Wakwalesa, the phone lines are open. Let's hear from you. We've discussed Chawama, where I've said the opposition are giving Morgan Munda this election. Unless they sit our leaders, Honorable Given Luwinda, Honorable Hari Kalawa, Honorable Pastor Peter Chanda, if they don't sit and resolve this issue, this election is going to Morgan Munda of the UPND. And are we able to mount a system to protect the vote? I know you are watching football. Uh-oh. What has happened to my Oh, okay, thank you. I don't know if I was frozen, I don't know. Let me check from the comments. Or someone says, Reverend Sampa Brett, thank you very much for Chawama, yes. And who was in Matero, you can tell me in the comments. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Thank you. Good evening, Ambassador Mwamba.
Good evening.
I will remain anonymously and unidentified for now.
Thank you, Anonymous. Please make your contributions.
Ambassador, you have spoken to the nation and you have spoken quite a lot of important issues that I do not know how quickly I'll be shorter to allow other callers to come through. But I'll begin to talk of the voter protection.
Yeah.
These matters are real. For those who have been in Southern Province, they will agree with me that elections are not monitored in Southern Province. Even the time of PF, during the time of PF, during the time of MMD, it was almost practically impossible to monitor elections in Southern Province and in some cases in Western Province. I want to imagine what would happen now that the UPND are in power. If there will be a single human being who will monitor these elections in these provinces I've mentioned. But I want to ask the Zambian people to say these things when we talk about voter protection, it is not for PF, it is not for FDD, it is for every citizen of this country. It is a responsibility to protect a voter, the vote that you have casted as a citizen. this is not a matter that we should leave it to a certain political party. This is a matter where every citizen who knows what is good for this country should stand and fight, should stand and protect their vote. How is it going to help the Zambian people to queue and yet the votes that they are voting won't be protected? I want to invite the NGOs, the Catholic, to pull up their NGOs because they are able to protect these votes using their NGOs. If anything, I would propose to say all the NGOs that are fair, that have not partisan, they should go and monitor in 3 provinces, namely Southern, Western, and Northwestern. Because this is where you expect a lot of unfaithfulness, a lot of
manipulation.
Wrong things, manipulation. So if these NGOs can monitor in these other 3 provinces, we know that other provinces like Lusaka and other provinces, Copper Belt, there is a soberness in the way these elections are monitored. So we can only involve Catholic and their NGOs, their partners, to make sure that these elections are monitored. Secondly, I want to talk of the issue that you spoke about, 2 political parties that are in Chawama today. I was shocked to see that citizens walked and participated in those elections. I was shocked to see my brother Peter Chanda do the same. When they know very well to say, we have only 6 months to go, and that seat was taken away from our sister Tasila Lungu, unfairly so. And then you begin to understand what is wrong with President Kalaba and his party. And when he is invited on your fora, ambassador, these are the people who stand and promise the people of Zambia to say, we are ready to work together. But cannot hold your patience just for 4 months. What is wrong with that? How do we defeat UPND in such a manner and a behavior of this nature? My brother Peter Chanda, who once worked out Tonse through PF, today he has the capacity to sponsor a candidate in Chawama. And then between me and the war, I'm asking, where has he gotten the capacity? It is the first time that this political party, it is participating in a huge by-election of that nature like Chawama. The Zambian people, the question they should ask today is, where has this political party gotten the capacity to sponsor a candidate in Chawama? I fear for this country, Honorable Ambassador, because people are loose to money. People have lost integrity. People do not know anymore what they need. And yet the Zambian people are looking forward to the same people. Very, very unfortunately, Ambassador. Very unfortunately, Ambassador. I also want to urge the leaders for Patriotic Front. Honorable Ruvinda, you are there. Please, can you bring your fellow political parties as Edgar Chagwa did? He brought them regardless of what was wrong with them. He brought them together because he never looked at himself. He looked beyond himself, and what he wanted is to liberate the Zambian people. Honorable Ruvinda and the PF members, they have responsibility to bring these political parties together. It is their responsibility. Why? Because they are the largest political party. Ambassador, I had too much to say, but I know I'm not the only person who wants to call. I want to say, let's continue talking and advising each other, but we have a lot to do. Thank you very much, Ambassador.
Thank you very much, Anonymous. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Mulenga Boniface wa Mwamba Mwabombe.
Enjita yama Mwabombeni.
Mwamba kutodera lesa amano amipela. Amano amipela kuti chawa mana fwe bale twako. Tukakwatire kona yambi amano kutontonka nyangefe mule tontonka na mulondolo ko twafumine no potufikire. Ba Mwambanga mule ya kumpanga. Mwali benkalamu. Kwe baba nati uture ya kwali benkalamu. Isoti mini nshibulebe bati tuyako. Nishibulebe bati tuleya nomba tubyaba ipekanya. Ilo twala afika kuleto tuleya sanga kweki chonse. Tufuire twachimfya. Efe mule pili bula pa election ya mu 2026. Efe mwachira londora no twa kweta ma election ya mu 2020 mu 2011. So ba Mwamba ayama shumule londora weekend even ukwebo kwebati chali bi papantu na tulufye ntungurushi apa ali ba etika chagwalungu. But given Rubinda to me, I can me advise who could start resign on that position. Yabu aspire as a party president and a candidate, Pama aspiring candidate. Baba Feniba organizer, who could share local monama political party. Oh, yeah, Tisha, you buy what you're wearing. Now, it's not Chicago contribute. So we are just robbed, could have given Rubindo, but still organize the win. Fair for that, a problem. Because ngabali pa neutral nangu kupela a certain person aba chairman bena baba aspiring candidate frafine elo ala control ama political party ati kwa the problem what is ni twikali apa fifi alwan is ni twikali apa ngachiri win number the same person na kwata ma position ya bili chairman kuli tonse party president kuena ni ku PF wala control na bano so whatever any appointment ama appointees wale bank yale muneka kwati bale ise kuilabe bale fuaya ebo bashale beka that is ba Mwamba efintu ihutambiro kumona tu na mbalondolwela to just split chawama reason why to imini kama candidate be so botu akwete mu PF bonse bala ba SP na tumona na kope bale bika po fya ba edika lungu na bo bayimini ko muntu ibambina bwabo banani bakala babayimika yes bakala ba weekend even say bakala banabena tetu ba control bali kwatala bena acho bafuaya. So which means if we ever organize the other political party if we ever kupitira muri balubinda but because balubinda ngachako waita bachinteshu lelo ngeve mulelanda te kupepafi imona mutisa advise if tufuire twaita protect ama vote if ya tike mwe mu 2011 edi no tufuire twa if ya tike mu 2021 kuli ba UPND na benefit tufuire chapa otherwise me I just appreciate the way muleta to create my issues aba no kumfwa bomfwe ngeve utule umfwa kwa chaba twala nomba na kuma churches itshinga inoita ma churches na yimino like bakatolika dira bale bomfwa pali lero tabo bomfwa where is what Tresford impundo wa support bali tukwa bali naka basika vitu wabebo kwa bati wa Tresford ikale nifi because mwali kufofula ntirelo bamyalukira so buteko bweso bwa UPND tamule tina amshua mule tuchari mind kwa bati wewe na Zambia tuikatani baluvinda akaina bwegesha kwa mshopo muri hapa bamundubire na imo mule shinguruka na tumimona mule shinguruka welele ni mutambi okwikala pamo pera for that ngamule tondonganya tirimbi muri accurate mulandu wako bati mule shinguruka mwa ingiriro kumwa chiroko tabalefe mule sova ule lufi afya abe kwa bati abena Zambia bamuni kwa bati tamwa ba leadership so ikale ni panji mone kwa bati mwai chefya mwaendera pamo ngulisha ni bonzo mwa aspiring candidate mwa bali hapa ule umvuve turelanda one day ugesa monekela.
Thank you very much. Caller, please call. We are discussing vote protection, what needs to be done, and I have a proposal for Chawama for our three leaders to immediately sit down. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Uncle Jay. Thank you very much, Ambassador. I just want to add a voice also on what is prevailing. First of all, in Chawama, what has happened in Chawama is uncalled for. It shows lack of seriousness from the opposition. You know, the call from the Zambian people has been very clear. Unite against UPND. But this arrogance coming from the opposition is one thing that is actually worrying, because that vote in Chawama will definitely be split, which shouldn't have been the case. Because if we are to make, PND weak, we need to scoop Chawama. It will be a good signal. But as long as they are going to be stubborn and do what they want to do, they'll still give an advantage to UPND. Then I want to speak a little bit about President Luvinda holding, the presidents of Patriotic Front. I feel that just like the
Mwalanjelelako, my brother,
had interest in
my brother,
relinquish that position.
my brother, listen to me. My brother, listen to me. My brother, he's not listening. Sorry, please restrain yourself from discussing Honorable Luvinda as a person. We might, I don't want to, remember we have a rule here, we don't attack other candidates. You might try to give advice, but unless it's in the confines I had said, where I'm asking them to sit down together and ensure that we have one candidate among them, Hari Kalava, Honorable Given Luvinda, and Peter Chanda. So to cut the other caller, let's avoid personal attacks on our candidates. They remain our candidates. I know you may want to give advice, but I can't control if it veers off into something. Oh, hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Oh, Nebo Gilbert, Copperbelt.
But Gilbert Copperbelt, and then
mwebombe vintu fikalamba sana fibamwamba nomba wali eskachine fimwachilanga ifo kwena tulapepa andi tulapepera konomba nalionse fina nguleserwa lebo mbana mwichipiko wefere mwachilanda ni mwali wa mano sana bamwamba na totela sana pantule sali kila muntu ali mupere chabo terionse lesa limwalanda ti ayafwa ngolefwa lesa kwafu tekubachinga tawaye mkulima kumabala lefwa amataba yese mungani nakwaba kuya mkulima vuvye abafye so anombe fifo tule muna Philippe kwa tibale butafye kwa tibala abantu abashaka ta experience because they were given Luvinda bali kwa ta experience for 20 years ba bafye pomuna nkele mu parliament yabo nabambi bonse baba kwa ta experience nombe ile mune kafe ni selfish nomba mwala lushashani tamuishibe ubutu uteko buleteka nga bulebo mfa makaya nga buliko fimo ifili behind be na ma powers balebo mfana bakwata system nomba ibo system ila bakwete balebo mfana number 1 bale control ba police ilo bale control ba police ni power ilia nomba imunga tamkwete power ilo tabakweta balebo mfya power nomba balarusha shani charo kubachi bapoke charo balefo kupokabe because nangufyo bana balana kale nangufyo mulefo kuya mkuru kuya kunkonto file mona muya namu isokera nanguni deve jaire na sokera mamon anditechi muchimfye wa echechi ngata muikatene tamulebo mfya mona ifo bi 7 efo yapita yali chala apona lero kashin bachala vonzo wa opposition to abatamfya but wali filo kuta protect the platform wajitire takwali wa ichira tiba baweka le panshi pamo bamone ko mwana twala abantu takuli fyakula pita vya pita bi 7 ngata muchenjere mo bene ba opposition vya pita bi 7 efo inga pita ne ina ma election ya leisa na vile mukalala na fya pita mama na echechi taba bwino fya pita akapita akateka paka fya kapange na wanu nan kale ina government fe imo ikarateka ya ine issue wala ndoko bati kushe nani kale party after party takuri ali shibe fya bala ndirepo wa president so nomba ba opposition ngabale itafye umunguru abantu bala mnafa takuya fino yuwine kai bonso bale itafye fya mungu file tule muna leadership ba mwamba ngamule muna abantu lefo bale mi support abachechi ba imina mo ba catholic ba imina mo bale po ama leaders abashipanga basata abashipanga abantu bakwati nanguba mutora mazeus nomba abakaba babere ba president mukweta ba candidate bakala ba muntu bile bonse abena ke bonse ni bakuwe bantu wanu bena bale china mazeus bechecha ingire mo madezi yang taleti nare ba ejigarungu ba president ba jale fuku abaita take off fishale chirali shwa ngo bando injecho ndefu icho ndefu achikatiti maona wa mwamba no
thank you very much
they give you mwamu kuvota my election then romwa ikala pa my election para ba UPND ko leba chira baita protect ine nalesango apo pamopo baleta mnabapanga kampu wabula limbi mpya bapero mwe mubusha pabere papangirira ali ba PF mwe mubusha kavuruvuru pakati mubalamvye atebale pangurubuli nomba imwe ba opposition niba kuwe kano baibeka tani balange leadership nga balanga leadership ero chechi amapepo bali pepakali abantu amachechi apalango baliranda amapepo twali pepakali ichiri pofe nyabo bene ntungurushi bakuwe ukuiminina nokubomba wino kubabashipa ero lesalambo kubabumfya mukubomba mukushipa kwabo kubashipire ero
Thank you my brother. Let's pray. Thank you. Yes, let's pray, but let's do our part as well. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Good evening, Ambassador. This is Mr. Munkonge.
Munkonge, landeni po.
Ambassador, nyama amakara kyara kuirika pan kirabushku upokerera ko ishamaka. Ambassador, mistake twalipangiria kale pakubula okukuchita trust bachanda umuntu ushaba mu politics atuishibera ibiro vyapangire party mulando wakwe bati yakulira nombe otwafuata twabuntakiye kusonga twapanga mistake fuire
awe mwibatuka bachanda balipangire party yabo. That party has been existing since 2016. Mwibatuka lande mvefe mulivo kulanda
okay ngashandire wino ba mwamba mbeleleni ko ruse party na beno fe bachiraranda pa media bachisarura sana PF so tabachikwata po muchinjira ngipano nimbita mumfa video abo barandire
kabele pa turelanda tintungulushi shesu shibete
mkwai so inafo lingalanda fe bamwamba pali ino nshita na ngamukwata kwa abantu abenge kalika ko bachanda panshi na nabalanda ifingi chawama sana mwaye tuma kwa bena abantu bakatine nde muno kwe bakiva chanda bali pokensala mwakati so pakana oli omuntu bakuba kwensala is very difficult but ukuya pantansha paba mwambo kulingana nefe mwarondorola ine ndero mbako bamwambanga mwarolesha FGT yali kwa tomuchinji ngamwarolesha bamumembera party yawo yali kwa tomuchinji ama party na rumbura ya bili haya. Most of parts of Zambia balifika so chawama twagura kwa bakuruba nesu apapene nshitataira afika patali na babe n'abantu babanerusha okuba bu president mu parties mukampa tubuli abantu babiri ba FDT na ba mumembe twikale panshi twambye okwenda nga opposition because ama party na rumbura abiri yakurunoko yafuma mwali mona balipera kalama checks and balances. Efintefe bachita abantu bako batinga twachitumfane na bena. Teti batu shitishenge twale tushitisha abantu. So before it's too late ba ambassador. And then kuna bena my foreign candidates abale rusho kwa ku president MPF. Inchito yikuru bapena na bena ko ofire babo mfya leadership yawo. Bamone fira chitika kuchawa mu. Mumona yemo bamwambako mu. Utali. But relation leadership mwa showing up. Kama issues yonse. Nombara vena barange ko leadership pali ama issues tukwete but the solution number one wa mwamba please mwana ni ishira mwarara ngiramu na ba FDD na ba mumembe tupange chako sa papene ishitani ino ina ninjisho babantu babiri teti waturekele chero teti watuchite pitre ongefi bambya barechita pako bati wangu nangu convention ya kutairafika tumone wangu ikaba mwambo twinga chitira mukwa entungurushi yambyo kwenda na bama parties babiri aba pako bati na era ma programs ya protection yabombe ni shira twate entungurushi teti bakoseba abafyashi mwalishi bafya baba.
Thank you. Let's take some more calls. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Good afternoon, Bamwamba. Sinyango Dani here.
Yes, Sinyango from Canada.
Mkwai Bamwamba. Bamwamba, I've listened to you. Bamwamba, you're a leader that provides checks and balances in a very good way. And I like the way you analyze politics. And this is something that one point that I've taken from your analysis, whether we like it or not, PF is the biggest political party. More reason why we've noticed that our other part, they have always tried to destroy us. But I was looking and thinking to say, can we use the SATA way of thinking, 2021 or 2011? You see, our president, the late Michael Sata, wanted to work with UPND, but he saw a lot of Imengala to them. He said, we'll go away with them and we'll do it away. We'll do it alone. PF, whether you like it or not, is the biggest opposition party in the country. What sent UPND into government was some people and members of PF voted for UPND, but whether we like it or not, UPND is a regional party. Their stronghold, we know where it is. So now, the idea is this, Bamwamba. You are in the MCC. I think for now, sit down with our party president. Let's start working with a formula, because what I've noticed, Bamwamba, you can't trust these oppositions. There are these opposition who are under the pockets of the ruling party. They are just there to get information of what is PF going to do next. They are always there wanting to see what is the next move of PF. And then they are the same people that are killing PF. Now we are looking at time, because whether we don't like it or not, 2026 Ngayaisa and we vote in for UPND, we will not have a Zambia to talk about. So for me, I'm asking you, Bamwamba, with your knowledge and your expertise, you are still a member of MCC. Can you start formulating a formula? And this formula, we don't ask people that even call, we don't even need to know about it, so that you guys put your heads together. And let's now see how best we can form government. And those people who don't want to work with PF, you guys can formalize the system and the formula to work and go alone. Thank you. That's my contribution, Mamambale.
Thank you from Canada, our dear brother from Canada. Today, we are discussing Chawama by-election and vote protection. What is your view? Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from. Yeah, hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Hello, Bamwamba Mwabombeni, nameless here.
Yes, nameless. Make your contributions.
Yes. Trying to keep the phone closer to my ears. Bamwamba, Kwela Mwandini, we are in trouble, which is pretty true, and I have also I'm in agreement with all the callers, the previous callers. But pali chintu chimo kwenecho tulaba fyonse fyalilandi kwa Bamwamba, everything. I think pali chintu chimo icho tulelaba bonse chakweva ati ba PF bali bakaka entambo. So aba bantu bali bakwe bit confused. Yeah, in everything ngalanda fefu fine. Ero chintu chimo ba ambassador. I came across a statement on one of the social media platforms stating that following the turning down of the MPs by the Vice President of PF, some members have expressed their disappointment, which has also led them to some of the resignation. They've started resigning without any fear or favor. Yeah, the point I'm trying to make here, Bamwamba, if this game is really getting into, to be ironic, James Bond action, the movie which was called Golden Eye, to say, then chances of any success are at a sinking point, Bamwamba. Yeah, because this harsh influenza, flu wele, is getting no cure, Bamwamba. I have always been an attentive listener, and the cry out of most of the contributors, to your platform has always been about unity. You know, I can give 100% kuri ba Mkonge. That's why ba Mkonge is saying that if he is feeling sick. You know, from the look of things, Bamwamba, God forbid, members of the party, you know, I'm just assuming, yeah, have completely failed to reach a bottom line. And this is true, Bamwamba, I'm telling you the truth. You know, they are so spaced that the gap that is supposed to be filled is larger than anyone can think of, Bamwamba. Yeah. And to conclude, you know, because we are all feeling the pain. To conclude, Bamwamba, I would, you know, with all my entire body, which is halfway melted, urge them to find a running mate within Tonse, Bamwamba, and accelerate, because if they don't accelerate, no time is left. They are just hanging, Bamwamba, on a shoelace, Mwalilanda, and I'm just hoping that they bear with you. They listen to you. Bamwamba tatulibana. Tatulibana Bamwamba. Some of us, we are just interested. I'm not a politician, but I'm a very much concerned citizen of Zambia. Because I can see, I love reading so much.
Thank you, my dear sister. Thank you, thank you. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from, and give your contribution.
This is Clevna Mkamba calling within Kablonga.
Please make your contribution, Clevna.
Yes, Honorable Mwamba, my contribution for this evening is not that much. I only want to appreciate you for giving us chance as youth to voice out through your platform. Honorable Mwamba, coming to the topic of the day, what is happening in Achawama is something which is stressful and something which is painful. As we all know that Honorable Tasila Lungu seat was nullified.
Oh, we lost the youth from Kablonga. Hope he can call back. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
My name is Zulu.
Mr. Zulu, make your contribution.
Am I on?
Yes, you are. Thank you.
Honorable member, good evening and good evening, listeners.
Thank you.
I have a word for the leaders. Honorable Munduvire, Honorable Luvinda, and Honorable Makebizuru. One day, Honorable Luvinda, as acting president, as a father, behave like a man in the Bible who gave away his authority and said, let's save the child. Honorable Makeb, you still have time for leadership. Leave this now for Honorable Munduvire. We are on the ground. If you don't do that, the whole country, the child will cry for you. I thank you.
Thank you very much. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Thank you. Good evening. I'm calling from Zambia.
Yes, my brother. Make your contribution.
Amba program yenu yisuma sana. Nonku mutasha tula mutasha. E platform tulebo mfya ngapis. Wewe na Zambia. Nishta tulebo mfishari muloko. So abantu nichiwa mwambanga mulela tangu tulelanda. Male tuwe bati nifuga opposition. Bamwambale ronango tuinga kwata PF president. Ushe ndei kusabe na Zambia ngatabaishwa. Usheba PF kitwa kwata rali na bakapokola batu pela. So ichilipo hapa chilikuwa tufuma Zambia tulalaba. Tekuwe bati fuba PF na ma opposition bagabanga mwamone program mwaleeta yakuvota 3/4 abantu basala ifwe pama candidates yesu ba PF mwalimu nefo chivapo nishi nga bambi abanensu nabo mu opposition parties tatufuako balela kwati nafwe tulefwa uyu twelalumbula mashira bamwamba mulakanya tulefwa ya socialist party tulefwa ifwe ba PF tutopinga which means echo na ruling government or HHR tupati lefya imingala twe abapali PF abantu kusheta bahishiba so ichile kabira babona kwati twikele fe ba PF nangu convention kwati tusesha ama issues yaba mu makoti kuchita intimidate bamwamba mwalela ndawe abengi ama candidates bala bachita intimidate ukubafwa kwati babachite babanyongi ama accounts ama movement no ba free nomba ushabantu tabamona ushe ifwero twalete tuite mwanga babalipo sebera ngepo bali baleka mbena bali free bali mu fyama social media zero bapanga amalo ya kuta strength kwati abantu be bafree ukulanda media yenu bamwambe ile bomba kwati we bali kubonchie tekwe elo ba opposition echo bala bakachira abantu bali kwata political party yabo nomba ichiri kwapa chakwa chira muntu alefu kutungula lefu nomba ifufwe bayisa mutonse we are more than abashala nifofye ba PF bichatura sala candidate ulani wa mchuzi ya kumakoti ama koti saimu walimone ichi achitika nokushika fika take away su president lungu batu wala kukoti nomba ifo ba PF nishecho balefu watu tampi okubonzi ama panga na ama kofi ngatuka poke pate ama koti seko ya baromba tabala ya chindika so bamwamba nango abale umfwa bonse please tekwati ba PF intungulu shishai kalasi awe mingala toku chinga nangulelwa nine twingakwata party president lula ba PF kuste hold la libaka pokola tabaka tele permit so ni shindifo ba PF bamwamba tulefwa awe so ichocho tulata ponga mwamwana bamwamba hii program mwaleta ifo ba PF tutopinga ama candidates yesu apo echo inena okumona te na candidate wandi uli machua uinga chita hii unokutungulula PF wino bamwamba ichitalu chirufyo kwihana emibombele abombele echikwanga chera bachimuna kumambalanya thank you bamwambe pombele.
Thank you very much. Hello caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from. Ndita mwabombe naimwe
Chilufia
emkwai wa Chilufia
kumkoshi
emkwai.
I totally agree with the first caller. What's his name?
The first caller was anonymous.
Oh, okay. And then this one just before me. Bamwamba, we are in trouble, and this is what I've been speaking about. The problem we have got is we've got a person in power who doesn't want to give up. I've got to be honest with you. I know I spoke to you the other day.
The other day,
you get out and people don't want to speak. People don't want to express themselves. This is what he wants, and this is what he has done. Let's get to politics. It's not about PF. No, like there's a lady that called. It's not about PF. It's about the future of our country. What we have got, Bamwamba, is what I saw in the 80s, 70s, where Kaunda was the only person that there was. There was no other person who was going to be a leader. Frightening, and if I'm being honest, I can only see this going on for as long as he wants. we have got these opposition leaders. Like when you started the program, you spoke about it. And I think I remember, there was a time that you were inviting these opposition leaders and all that kind of thing. There was a time that you invited this boy. Oh, no, I shouldn't be saying that. Sorry. The young man, Slavwe. I called in Bamwamba, and you attacked me when I said this man can't win an election. This is reason we are where we are. You've got I shouldn't be pointing out names, but why don't we just have one opposition party? The reason why this man came into power is because he was the only person who was there. He was the only alternative. We are in a situation where we've got billions. You've got my young brother Kalaba saying, "Oh, now when I form government, how is Kalaba going to form government? He can't even win a seat. We are in trouble, Bamwamba. I've got to go. Thank you.
Thank you very much, my dear brother from UK, but currently farming in Mkushi, for your contribution. My caution is always that we minimize attacks on our leaders. We shouldn't. It should be progressive. If you want to criticize the leaders, it should be constructive. And also, I don't want my platform to be accused of scandalizing any other leader. This is a building, uniting forum. That's why we speak in the candid manner we do. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from. Hello, caller. Hello, caller. Hello. Oh, our caller, you're wearing a pink shirt, t-shirt, blue and pink, I think. Hello. Oh, they have to call back. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
I'm Robert, calling from Zambia.
Yes, Robert.
Yes, Ramwamba, me, I'm a PF. I've got a high position in PF, but I'm worried because whatever you've explained, it carries a lot of weight because Ramwamba, you are in a central committee. I think you could sit down with the top leadership of PF, because Peter Chanda is the one who was left by the late president. May his soul rest in peace. So Peter Chanda should be called by the PF president, because he need to be a leader, because Peter Chanda is just like our young boy in PF. So he should not be pushed out and then we go for FDD. FDD, there's Chifumbanda. Chifumbanda is a lawyer. So we need to move with a party that who understand, because we can have a problem which was in Malawi by this lady Joyce Banda. They didn't go along with Peter Mutharika. Hence, they had problems in their government. So we need to pick a leader who is going to accept any position, not only because if we pick FDD, automatically they'll ask for a running mate, and we have got some candidates in PF. They're also asking for a position of a running mate. So we should be very careful when picking. That's why we've seen in Chawama, we've got a lot of candidates who are coming from PF, as you have said. So we need to be very careful in 2026. I think that was my contribution, Mr. Emmanuel.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, let's continue to take your calls. We hear from you. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
I'm calling from Zambia.
Thank you. Your name?
Mwamba Clifford. Mwamba.
Mkwai. Mkwai.
Mwamba kwena ngivefune twose balelanda. Ili achiti patriotic front abantu chechilongano baitupoka kale. Eronga Mwamba fekulala ndukweba kuba tiyo tukasale ntunguru chitatu akachitike wose balifa ku president. Inonse fo tulefo kuchita. Tulefo kumona baye chetinga mwabamona. Ko bafuma ku Southern Province. Bakwata ama 90% ama votes. Nomba ifenga twabura barovinga. Ikuisoko balafunya ama vote 90%. Nangu twabura ba Clifford Monde ikuise balafunya ama vote 90%. So tulefo ayo umuntu akokubati kuchasenga ama vote. Ukwafuma kuchitungo kwafuma. Ngainkuru Saka province. Ngainku Chipata, ngainku Northern, ngainku Northwestern. Ekwenga senda ama vote 90%. Ero futhi age group na yena pushi abafura bayithi ni president tukadate nshiwe ngasenda ama vote yavayithi ebo tulefu ayo kurodekisha palicho tatulefu pura bali bonse atiyo shanshana bonse abali febwe nomba tulefu ayo abantu akubati ngani balobinga kuti basenda ama vote 90% from Lusaka province na kumbyo kubenga senda ngani bakambwidi kuti basenda ama vote from Kurwansha ku Northern province akumbe kubenga senda nabakala bezofini so nombanga mwamona fyasha bama karesi ngabamba abengi kila muntu ale fyafini aba abasha abade from ukapota fini namba 1 imofi omuntu so imwapa twakobati yo ba PF okasa yo muntu wawe imobure ni abantu bose kila muntu emini ne ofini ukakwata abantu abengi twambe fyafini ngani make bizuru nakukwata abayichi nakukwata na kusangwina ngani kwise improve utasenda abantu kunoze na kusana kwisoko nabenye abantu bose bemini amwine foka kwata abantu abanona gale naka paka tukasena make bizuru angonso bonza abantu benganda tu uine oyo tulefuaya newa mwambopo mfonde ngona pona pele pope.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from. Good evening. Good evening.
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you so much. Ambassador, firstly, is to give credit for the work that you've been doing. It's highly commendable. And I've been following you, especially on today's program on your preamble, where you mentioned opposition unity. You know, we can go for opposition unity if only we do our homeworks. You know, PF is the largest opposition that we have. And if we go for opposition unity, it should first begin in our own home, which is PF. What happened in Bill 7, where Bill 7 passed, like there was no opposition, there was no opposition to it. This should have set as testament to opposition unity. We should have organized, we should have managed to oppose Bill 7 as PF. But we failed to unite our own MPs. We failed to unite our own people within PF. But now we come out and go for opposition unity. Do you know what Bill 7 has done to the opposition? They've seen how weak PF is. Who is supposed to be a leader, okay? Who is supposed to lead the opposition? So it's like now in a home, okay, a father is not showing leadership in a home. What comes out is something else. Children become something else. This is what is happening with the opposition as well. But I've seen you, or I've heard you call or speak like you are not a very influential person. Personally, I hold you in very high esteem. I know what you are capable of doing. So instead of speaking like you've lost hope as well, okay, please reach out to the people that you feel can unite the PF. And one person, of course, is the one who is holding the leadership of PF. Ambassador, you called for an opinion poll on this forum. I'm sure you've seen how the votes have gone, okay? I know you had your own preferred candidate, but you know what? It's better to get the bigger thing than holding on to our preferred candidates. Let's go for a person that we feel is resonating or is appealing to the larger people around. I don't want to call the names, but you and I know who has been so popular on this opinion poll and who is on the ground. Okay. Another caller said one candidate within the PF is young. He can easily come out at a later date, at a later time. Okay, because he's still fresh, he's still young. Okay. So I think I don't want to be here for long. This is my submission, Ambassador. Thank you.
Oh, have we lost our caller? I think we've lost our caller. Let me pick another call. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Hi, Bamwamba. Thanks. Finally, I've managed to reach you.
Thank you.
Power has just gone. Hello?
Yes.
Power has just gone off. Let's hope I won't lose my network as well. I'm calling you from Mukushi. I won't say my name.
Thank you.
Okay. I think, Bamwamba, one thing, we've liked your program. And I know even when we don't reach you, you still get our points through WhatsApp. Thank you very much. What I can say is, one, I know people have been so much comparing the current with Kaunda. Okay, fine, they may compare, but Kaunda was developing the nation. Although he could have been a dictator, but development to Imona. That's one thing. Then secondly, PF, they should just unite and work together. The ground is already united. The ground is already united. It's up to them. I mean, the fact that they are fighting, it's not the end. God still has a chance for PF to rise again. There's a reason why God has still maintained PF. Failure is never final. There's no closed door with God. God comes to open that seemingly closed door. And the other thing I can say is that we followers, let's continue praying for them. We should not continue dividing them. Mundubile, giveni, who? No. We should find a way of uniting them, telling them, monse mulibamo. You know, Robert Fiashbalelwa Panganda. I mean, sometimes you don't take sides. Unite them. That's the best we can do. Because you people who are in front right now, I can say, you're sort of like, can I say you are vulnerable? Because in Mamuli Kuntansh Kwama bullets, if what to likunuma. So far likunuma ngatwambo kumisonsomba. Tamwa wombe. So what I can encourage all of us followers, supporters, me, I'm supporting MZ. Yes, I was supporting Rubinda, but I've got nothing wrong with him. I've got nothing wrong with him, Ndubile. It's just my spirit that has given me MZ. So I can't blame that the rest are bad, they are what? No. Era nabo abayishire support Bill 7. Bakulu bali abera blame ati uyu ngali bekalika panshi olubinda ngali bekalika panshi. How are we struggling with followers? Don't we have families? And what is 3 million? Or $150,000? Not that I'm earning a lot. No, but my mind is determined to achieve in life. Not through a crooked way. No. And they say wealth gotten by vanity vanishes away. Ngani bambya abamu mukushi abavotere Bill 7. Balikale broke. Shirefo okulumbula. So the thing we can do is just pray for you people. There's still hope. You will rise, you people. Don't feel discouraged. You will make it, you people. The hand of God is still on you. And you're going to unite. These Egyptians we are seeing today, tomorrow we'll see them no more. Thank you, Bamwamba.
Thank you very much. Thank you, my dear sister. Wisdom from a woman.
Hello?
Wisdom from a woman. Thank you very much. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Hello, good evening. In Netherlands, James Kuzanja wa Mwamba Mwishani.
But James, make your contributions.
Contribution yangu ya kwewa ati hapa PF mrefu iko kupanga strategy. In case tawamipele chipani. Sareni zita kwangu ilo muipange azi PF movement. PFM. Kuchitokuwa tukula hapa patira va special purpose vehicles. So we have as PF movement. Hii ikalavika ama candidate as independent. Then a president now came in as independent. Then our ambia for join a PF movement. Seva KPF vanani nomba ikawa nomba as a joint PF movement. Then once inga yapangwa, ama districts are intact already. Then if I got funding, mwapakwati mupa yofilia abantu mambo kula vika mpia. So district yambo kutako recruit ba yufi aba kuchitako monitor in shan vote protection. Angu 10 polling station kuchita recruit.
Mkwai.
Hello?
We can hear you.
Hello?
We can hear you. Please finish your contribution.
So you recruit number 10 per polling. Using the same funding, let's say, I'm sure many people generally want to contribute. Basically, one quarter per individual. Some can even contribute more. So that fund will be used now to protect the vote. Each polling to recruit, but district have been district the whole country. They can recruit these youths under the PF movement. Then have a alliance wants to join, they should just join the PF movement, which in case we cannot compare Japan to go as independent, as a movement, independent, all the independents under the PF movement. That's my contribution about Mamba.
Thank you very much, my dear brother. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
My name is Anonymous. I'm calling you from the village.
Anonymous, make your contribution.
Yes. I have only 3 points to make here. The first one, I'm just saying to other speakers who have already spoken and other people who are concerned about rebuilding our PF. My point is, why can they also come and work together with you, at least to share their ideas? You've given yourself to the people, and you've seen the work that you are doing, which is very, very, very excellent. But then we need people also to work with you so that we can share the ideas. And then secondly, I'm thinking if we like maybe announce or show them that this is our leader we have. Don't you think these people, they'll start following that person until they make sure that that person will have no chance to stand or to participate? Anyway, that's just my thinking, because knowing the way the Mingalato they are using, these people, anything is possible. And the moment they know that this is the candidate who's going to participate, they'll try by all means to fix that person. So how are we going to protect our leaders? I think that should be also put into consideration as well. And then the other thing is the unit that we are talking about. It's us people, but we are putting it now to the people who have already failed. Why don't those people who have interest also forward their names? And about the first point which I said, with the people who are calling, at least we are seeing this point can be considered, this person can consider, maybe try to follow them privately so that you can come up with a group that will be working together with, because alone it's just so involving. So at least if you have a group that you can be working together with right now, because we don't have enough time, we need to work as well, looking at that we have. I think that can also help. I think, thank you.
Thank you very much. Callers, today is Sunday. You ought to rest with your family. Others are watching football. We will close in. I'll take the last three calls. We'll close with the last three calls. And we're discussing voter vote protection mechanism. What strategy can we use? Can we protect the vote? And put the pressure on Chawama. Chawama, unless we do something drastic, where Honorable Winda, Honorable Hari Kalaba, and Peter Chanda speak, we are losing that seat unless something dramatic like that happens. It is very clear that we have very strong candidates that will get the votes. Like I gave the example of Munali constituency, where the opposition lost and the UPND won that seat because the two strong candidates for the party stood on separate ground. I'll take the four last calls and then we call it a day for today. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Ambassador na bwela njofa fyo kupisha kwa question imo yo nganga kwa wishe wa ambassador kulingana na status kibererepo takuli ku nshira imwe ya kweva ti we can go kusare ntungurushi as an independent uko bomvya pia bumba
Mkwai ama independence nabo bakeminina
twaya convention za independence twaraba confession ya PF na bachavinga pakwe bati atwaishiwa kwa intungurushi twafunguluka kwa mbo kwenda nishite twaikalira panshi ukumana convention ya independence pakwe bati enshira twasalira mwa intungurushi ngambo kwenda nayo.
Thank you very much, my brother. I'm taking the last calls. It's Sunday. We want you to rest and we want you to watch your football match. AFCON has opened. We'll be taking the last few calls. I can see you are calling. Just call so that we... Today we're discussing vote protection. How can the opposition protect this vote? It is very clear that President Hichilema will likely lose this election, but what can you do to protect that vote? Hello, caller. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from. Who's calling?
This is Enoch.
Enoch, make your contribution.
Let me not state the district.
That's okay.
Okay. Let me just comment two things on the PF. But PF, mwalikwata membership sana. You've got Avanto and a lot of people. Even today, ngachakurwa tumwailand that all our members can you join this political party? We want to buy. Now, what is missing? So I don't know who's going to sit, who's going to be bold enough to say, let us organize Pamuru. I think that's where we have a problem. So if everyone, they don't have the direction because they don't have a leader. So please, my appeal, can we quickly look into this issue and sort out the leadership issues in the PF? Can the PF leadership take a bold stance and tell people to say, we have failed as PF? Can we quickly go and join this political party? And every member of the PF will go and join the political party they are going to point. Thank you, Mr. Mamba.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Many people are worried about the state of our country. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Hello?
Hello, make your contribution. Tell us your name and make your contribution.
Okay. In a contribution, and it's very simple. Bamwamba, can't you invite Lubinda, Peter Chanda, and then Galaba? Just make it even by Tuesday or Wednesday, so that to baby Fiakuchita. Otherwise, we are going to lose again this seat. This is my contribution.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. He shifted the burden back to me. He says I should call these leaders. Today is going to be a brief broadcast. We're discussing vote protection, and we want you to take a moment and rest. We want you to watch football as well. So for this reason, we'll not go for a long time. I think we've made our point. And okay, I think let's close the program. Today we're discussing vote protection mechanism. Do we have capacity as the opposition to protect this vote over 12,700 polling stations? I narrated how the UPND are collaborating with the ECZ to ensure that the party agents are not in the polling stations, and then you really can't have credibility to those results. But also I've spoken about the unity of the opposition, and I gave an example of Munali constituents where Mike Mposha won with 35,000 votes. Thomas Palo got 30,000, and Samuel Mbila Patrick got 30,000. These were literally PF candidates. I think I may have Anonymous who's calling. Okay, so I was giving the example of Munali constituency, how Mike Mposha then won that seat. Mike Mposha and Lillian Mutambo were associated with the UPND. They only got total 37,000. But those candidates associated with the PF, Thomas Palo and Patrick Samuimbila, got 60,000 votes. This is what will happen in Chawama. If we allow these three candidates who are very strong, Mutete Muhammad, our dear brother P.S. Nundwe, and Harry Kalaba's candidate, former district commissioner Davis Mulenga, we will lose that seat to Morgan Munda. It is very clear. It doesn't need science to know that that's what will happen. And it's a test for us to test opposition unity. We are about to close. Namona mo abuela mayo. Landeni po. Hello? Hello, Mayo. Landeni po. Hello?
Hello?
Mkwai Mayo.
Bamwamba, nyine bofuti. Ichakushali kishaku. Pali inanikane ya kuchita protect ya voting. Kulingana fineko wensi valandile. We need to have our leaders behind us. Yeah, I agree with everybody. Pantunga tatukweta vale chitapush. Tapadi finga womba na ngufimo. Hello, inchito yene omugomba ba mwamba. Te inchito ya kuisa posa. Ulefu kuisa muni vintu fyaba bwino kuntanshi. Chikala echo mwakuselela pweti. So kuti chawa masana nga chakutira. Bamyumfuira. Ero abababiri abalasti abachiranda. N'abalanda efintu fikankala sana. Nomba nshishile ba mwamba na inende mipisha ku question. Bushamula tumfwa nga tulela anda tule mpera ku advice. Mula njasukeni mula mfwa ko fimoso na tutuneva kuna ngutatu aba experienced.
Tulomfwafye sana mayo. Amakayaba mu bantu. You don't have to have experience, but you know, elo lesalandira mu bantu. So mwenga mwalanda, we take it that it's a voice of God that is speaking.
Chikankala fecho chine ba mwamba. Sorry for taking your time. Kwali baba alwala. So kuchu watu wafuisha kutata. Tetumite mwakweba ati mwaisa luse. Chikankale chumwaletera vanisa mbali ya chali.
Our nachi monekera fe pabwelu that 2026 ifuna yako opposition, but never opposition, but if tufile tuachi tapak tufikende bwino.
Tukosele shempa lumeshesu. Kuira shita sana kondemu.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Hello, caller. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from. We are closing. Hello, mwambo kutumanomba.
Mlenda wa Simbo John.
Mkwaila John. Landeni po.
Kwena mwe ntungulushi. Karamba. Na totira pa kufika lero. My concern na kwetea kwewa jusheka nchiturendera pesa pamonge echipanya. Echo mbwene ichikulire sana cha kusontana pamonge ntungulushi. Nomba ifo fwe wali kunshi yenu tuwara nkwisa muleturo mwala tutunguruira. So, natumuno kwebati inshita tukwetea pa chance tukwetea kumona kwebati ifwefe mutwala irubula muri next year 2026 general election. Apana tukwata chance ikulu sana isuma sana. It's a great opportunity ya kwebati ifwetu inga irubula. Nomba ichikulire sana kuntungushi Yesu. Mure isonta nefikondo. Yo aba nomba nishturendera pesa.
Thank you very much, my dear brother. He's cautioning for the leadership. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
wa Zambia, mundimu Zambia muno.
Mkwaiba Lamek.
Wamona wa mwambebe ili hapa. Mtungushi Yesu. Abali muchipani chesu ichinechi. Beta mko wati wo yapuka kamufenine kumono muntu wa umbe fishinka. Uwa mwene kuwa bombele kunyoya abantu.
Oh, it's cut. I've got another caller waiting. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us. You are listening through the monitor. Listen to my voice. Oh, I lost the caller. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Ambassador Mwamba Mwabonde.
Ndeso ndoelela endeshe nimwebani mule tumino kufumina kuisa.
Okay. Mulelanda na babu adio kufumina kuundola.
Mkwai.
Ambassador tuwa fwe nyu kwa afya bukalambo botu kwete. Chumwe chintocho tuishibe fwe ntungurusha chakwe bati. Grace ya kwa lesa ikavo muntu umo. Grace covers one at a time. Aba lefo kubabu president na abafula bati aba irangiri aba kwete potential backgrounds na abeshibikwa. But given Rubinda bapasa PF. Ifo for my supporters background na tufula nomba abantu nabambo kutendwa because nefile chitika bambi bambo kawe twingire muri yari kala bambi tombe kurande tawe twingire mudifi bambi mu socialist but as a result party yesu yafwa bamwambala nshanyeni twafweni lwanshanyeni pangeni convention wangu tupeni president umo ngatwakwata president umo twala kwatokwakuya twafweni bagiven lubinda bapasa pf abantu tuleyidi shanyolo tulelila ero natwamba nokumana kwasili mpadi abale basponsor kumbati
wifikoko
pf ni party yabantu
wifikoko twila sushe ntungulu pa bwelu. Let's just keep respect like I've insisted. Liliana Tila, we are leaving, then that's now when you are all calling. So but kaina ishwati program yo mupeme namo, so kumile kama wapeme namo. So I was about to wind up, but let me take whoever wishes to call quickly so that we close briefly. We're discussing Chawama by-election and vote protection. When you call all the family leaders in the opposition are our potential leaders to lead us. So be kind on them. I don't want you to use this platform to attack any of our leaders, because a leader amongst themselves will emerge who we shall support. That's why I always caution that we should, in our approach, be very soft when it comes to other leaders. Don't use this platform to attack any other leader. Speak to the principle, speak to the issue. I think that's why this platform then will be meaningful to all in the opposition. I've always held it as a platform for the opposition, not just for the PF. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Our potential leaders to
You could be our last caller.
So be kind on them. I don't want you to use this platform to attack any of our leaders, because a leader amongst themselves will emerge who we shall support. That's why I always caution.
Hello, caller, you are listening to your own monitor. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
I'm calling you from Z.
Okay, thank you.
But I want to remain anonymous.
Make your contributions.
My contribution to program is that I think that as leaders who have been on that program, the opposition leaders that have been on that program, all of them have agreed that they work together, and that if the other person, in order to strengthen themselves as one, to take over. It's not looking like that. What is the problem? Because it looks as if in the PF itself, so many people have come about. I've thought that PF would sit together on their own, so that even as they are going for the convention, they know exactly, maybe there's not going to be a convention for PF from what we see. They can still sit on the side on their own and probably, get a party that they are going to work with, so that they leave those papers with this gentleman that's holding on to them. I think it only makes sense. But if all of our leaders that are wanting to become president want to stand and have, somebody, people supporting them, and so there's so much confusion. But the confusion starts with one particular party who has so many people that don't want to sit down and choose one person and then go to a different party, which they will use as a vehicle to get onto the elections. I don't know if I'm explaining myself
very
well,
clear. I think your point is very, very
understood.
Clear. Yeah, well understood.
That's where the problem is. Too many leaders. There's an English proverb that says, too many cooks spoil the broth. That's what's happening now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Mazimba pano Vatikulundazi.
Yes, Mr. Mazimba.
Muri mwaona hii kuchawama huku. Hii kuchawama huku. Ndio vantu va opposition vose vakalipasi pasi muntu umoza chambe osati uyu sizatola iyo siti vapase umuntu umoza zikora umsebenzi makosa.
Thank you very much. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Yeah, good evening, Ambassador Mamba.
Good evening.
Good evening, my fellow countrymen of Zambia. Zephania, I'm calling from Lusaka, Zambia.
Yes, Mr. Zephania.
Yes, the question I've asked is a question that all our political leaders should think through. It's a very pertinent question which I've asked about voter protection. This time around, I'll urge that all political parties, they are supposed to start training their own people how they are going to protect voter protection, because UPND at the moment, they are busy training their people how to make sure that they frustrate the opposition party and they should win this election, because it's a do or die for President Hakainde Hichilema, because he knows that he has lost popularity. So they would want to do what they have been doing in by-elections. So it's very important for political parties now to put their heads together, to start training people. When you train people like what we have now, when you look at all these CSOs, most of them, they are already aligned with UPND. We have seen it through Bill 7, how they were coming out. Those are the people we thought that they are going to speak for the Zambian people. So the other appeal goes to us, we Zambians. After voting, we must protect our vote. Immediate 18 hours they have closed. We should not move until we protect this vote. This 2016, if we let it slip out of our hands, we should forget about Zambia. That's why they are saying they have started now calling this bill at Bill 5, which is going to come, that they are going to reduce term limit. They have been projecting that up to 2090, I don't know, President Wanalife here up to 2090. But the truth of the matter is that what you have said, Wamwamba, it has touched me, and I've been thinking through that it should start with us, the Zambians now. Me, as personally Zephania, I have already started, I'll start talking to people so that we can protect. Actually, yesterday, Wamwamba, we were talking with someone saying, the only people who are going to do the voter protection is us, the Zambians. Because Zambians, we are docile, we always want to leave it to political parties. When it comes now to Chawama, like you have said, Chawama, we have a chance to win as opposition. But the problem which I see is that every opposition party now, they want to show that this is an opportunity to show. It's more like Chawama is a showcase where they want to show, but they were supposed just to sit down and feud in one candidate so that we could have easily wiped Muyunda. Muyunda is winnable. But the problem, like you have said, when we split the vote, that's when now they can even take advantage. And in Chawama, that's where now voter protection should come. And if they are not going to do so, UPND are violent. Like here, like you have said, they are going to leave it. The day past 17, that's when they're voting. 16, the very day past 17, that's when you're going to see there will be a lot of now violence in Chawama. So opposition parties, they must embrace that so that they know that 2026 is not child's play. It's not child play like you have said, Bamwamba. I love your passion. You love this country. It's unfortunate that you are that side, but you love this country, and people sometimes they don't get what you always say. You always open our mind to say, this is what is going to come. That is an eye opener. That's why our leaders, please listen to what people are saying. A good leader, you always listen. Members, they say, umwe wa muntu wa kukutwi. So, umfweni, umwe wa abantu wa kukutu. Tuwefe tuleranda, mufire mwakutika. Ama leaders vesu. Stop, remove greed. Everyone has said, remove greed. Because greediness in Iranga, that's why a lot of people, they start now, I think we are just wasting time with the opposition. When opposition has potential time, potential that every Zambian is choked because of the hardship. We are choked because of load shedding and unbearable load shedding. We are choked. The price of minimum Mwamba is now going up. We are choked. Our farmers, they haven't been paid. We are choked because our farmers, they are not paid and they are getting maize, fertilizer, mamameda, and seed. So in conclusion, I'll say that our leaders listen to what Bamwamba has brought. This is the issue we need to talk about if we want to win the 2026 election. Because election, we always win at the very last day of after election. That's how you protect. Thank you very much, Bamwamba, for giving me that opportunity.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I can hear in the background one calling you, just calling. Let's see who it is. Maybe they can also have their last say. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
I'll remain anonymous.
Anonymous, make your contributions.
Yeah, I'll go direct to the point. I think Abantu, they still love PF so very much, actually. And the structures, they are still very much intact across the country. But what we are seeing now from the top management, you are not holding each other. So I'll just go straight. Do we still have strong relationship with the former Vice President, Inonga Wina, the chairperson of the former chairperson,
Bangonga.
Yes. Can this, yes, can we approach Inonga Wina? Can we approach the chairperson? Can these people call all the aspiring candidates, including the current acting president? Let's forget about the convention because you will not be allowed to have convention. Trust me on this one. But if these key people can call all aspiring candidates and we agree, we select one person to represent us and we announce to the people, this is the candidate that we'll go for. And then we select the special vehicle that we can use, to do the elections. I think this issue of fearing to say, no, this candidate, he will be caged, he will be being followed. I mean, we'll be in hiding for how long? We have only remained with 3 months now, 4 months now, before we start the campaigns. How long are we going to be hiding? In the name of, so we have to hide until further notice. We need to mobilize the structures. Look at this by-election we're having in Chawama. Because we are not mobilized. This one is there, this one is there, this one is there. We are not organized. People are laughing at us. Can we identify key people that are neutral, that can call all this? Call MZ, call Munduvire, call Given Rubinga. You guys, let's sit down. We can only have one president at a time. Let's have this president. From there, and then we announce to the public, this is the person that we feel will stand. And then we pick the special vehicle. We use that one as to begin the campaign. I feel that is my contribution. This issue of let's wait for convention, let's do this, it's not going to happen. They are not going to allow you. And Chavinga has the papers as he puts it.
Thank you very much, my dear brother.
Of the convention? The answer is no.
Thank you. Yes, caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
This is Bright Moka from Musaka province.
Yes, Bright Moka.
Yes. So my contribution is, as the opposition, we can defend the vote. you can make sure that you protect the vote. You can make sure that we are doing impact what we read. Now, what we are lacking is who to lead us. You are the opposition, and yet you don't have a leader or a president who will stand for us. So, apart from the post, it's better to acquire a president. And the president that we need,
Oh, Kat, you can call back, but I'm about to wind up. But it's very clear saying we look for a leader. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from. Good evening.
Good evening, thank you. This is Alfred Yombe calling from Lusaka.
Yes, Mr. Yombe.
It's so sad about protecting the votes come 2026. That's the only option we have remained with is 2026. If we look back into the happenings in the Patriotic Front, or we just go way, way, way back in the rumors to our from UPND, we used to hear rumors to say there are special meetings which leaders within the UPND held from a selected region. Okay, we used to hear those rumors. Now it's making sense. The capture of PF, it didn't come out of the blues. It was a well-calculated move for what we are witnessing today concerning Bill 7. They calculated their move, capture the PF, the main opposition political party, and let them lose control of their parliamentarians. What we are seeing in Bill 7, it's not the amendment. The real amendment, Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba, will happen if we allow HH to win the 2026 general elections. Because in Bill 7, he was just working on the numbers. Okay. From that 40, he has got 20 granted seats. You add 11 seats, which you appoint. You add the speaker. So he already has 35 seats guaranteed without laboring for them. Then if we get all the seats from Southern Province, they belong to him. All the seats from Western Province, they belong to him technically. All the seats from Northwestern Province, they belong to him. So on the amendment of Bill 7, he was working on numbers. So that when he wins the 2026 general election, we allow him to win the 2026 general election. He's going to have a leeway now to amend the Constitution at will. That's where we are going to see those things, the removal of the presidential term limit, the extension of the term limit from 5 years to 7. We are going to see them after Ngawina 2026 elections. My plea to all the aspiring candidates, I feel so sorry. I feel so sad, not sorry. So sad what is happening in Chawama. I was thinking all the opposition are going to rally behind one candidate. But no one is willing to put aside their egos. If they think this is affecting only PF, we are lying to ourselves. Those secretive meetings the UPND used to hold amongst themselves, they know from certain regions, they were up to something. They were up to something. I feel sorry for Mother Zambia. And I feel so scared for my children because I've got young children. Very young, they are 6 years old. So, my plea to the opposition, please, let's bury our egos and put the interest of Zambia first. It's good to have plural democracy, which we have in Zambia. But when we were facing an adversary like Hakainde Hichilema, there is no need of going solo, challenging each other in an election. There is no need of that. Because HH is our common enemy we have. We don't know what he thinks in his head. We don't know what he's up to. I just wish we listen to Bakeke and we listen to Mwanawasa. When Mwanawasa talks about the sneakiness of HH, that he can lie as long as he gets to power. But after getting that power, we never imagined that the man can be this evil or this treacherous. He's killing democracy at will. He made his calculations. And it's so sad to see Venichirufia Tayari. Let me mention him. Even thinking of joining the UPND, when the man is in exile because of the bad environment which the UPND government has brought. The man was separated from his family, just like you by Emmanuel Mwamba. Is that the government you can even wish to support? Please, 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 please.
Thank you, my dear brother. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Now that was our last caller. Support our candidate batu onani development yene baleta kuno aba ndeba acting MP babatasira lungu batasira kwa sibenze pondebenzo sebenza nchito zonse bapo tienti uze bose baletienda kuti baja bene benzo acting MP manje bapitiri
Malaiti na lelo kulibe fertilizer famasa kwanisa bati uzati kwenyu sembe tenze tinazibati. This is what you meant. Kaleza sembe siti na vote talemana boaba talemana boza basi eni baende tuone kovina wenye wapaka sweet tokaisha tifuna mariza utinoti mastori abamvula ya kwa manje mulimi sana fole fertilizer yodulatiza gula bonji apatienda kuma elections muzani pasa exuze bwanji ndabachiwonekani napanga mistake talemana boaba talemana boza basi eni baende tiwone kovina wenye wapaka sweet tokaisha tifuna mariza usinoti mastori
inokuya pamarket mwe vantu ndefwako fertilizer ya 750 ayo kwali va fertilizer ya 750 ndive vice president yevarandire venga vepati ayo kanshinyavo kashite ku parliament
malaiti na lelo kulibe.
Point in time, as I've said already, I have not come across a single man in politics who is today thinking of spreading Zambia. Apart from this, my head man in Zimbabwe, this is the southern province. He tried to do that, I think, but he didn't succeed.
Okay, so we...
No, I think he will finish it at all.
Okay.
This is my southern province. What is he? The man is running his party.
Which one? Magande?
No. Oh, no.
He comes from Southern Province.
Southern Province, yes. This man who is he?
Hakainde Hichilema.
Hakainde
Hichilema.
Hichilema.
Hakainde Hichilema.
Who running this?
UPND.
UPND, just like. Apart from that, there is no other leader I can fear to run this country. All these others who are running parties.
Actions have happened. Magamba, if you're not with them, it's either you're dead or you're in prison. This government, you're going to get big man. Fish to our fianya pakubika mobes. Fish to our fianya. Why me? Missing. Achani ruba mwaicho and dishonor. Where is why me? Agent, tell us with your government, where is why me? Give us why me. Justice for why me, big man. Wachila mo agent. Wala tupwisha bega kutupwisha magamba. Katwale kya kulanda big man. Why you think? Maana watata. Sabia tuwasevana. Magamba. Wanesa tuwakweni. Mutala tetu. Icha Zambia. Tuamona mwepwa. Magamba. Tuamona mwepwa. Nama abductions magamba. Ubuteko tualeta. Wadulete lama. Amazala mush. No you can take her. Kola ipompa today. No you can take her. Apa nomba bade. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo. Wakuvota bade. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo. Wakufuatika. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo. Wakufuatika fuatika. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo. When you taya kwa fwe. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo. Aikona man. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo. Itaya kwa fwe. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo. Yakuliati kwenyu. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mayona batata. Mayona batata. Bayuthi. Tyentuisuli amenso. Batusendela nomba batwipaira na hope Yesu. Endika chagwa lungu watubela tinani kwa tila plan B. Nomba tuwadishiba plan B aba mmino ya kualesa. Bantu banga abalafa mu kyalo kyesu kya Zambia. Nibanga abantu abala abducted mu kyalo kyesu kya Zambia. Bambire kuli jenje banda. Nibanga abantu abala mu prison. Abena chitotela chilangwa. Wonze baba prison n'entunguru shina shimpi. Muri one government ya kwa ejeji. Abantu naba famweleza. Aikata nomba baikata na kuyetika chagwa lungu atukwatile plan B. Abakubo byabyo mufulo big man. Mufulo pa mufulo. Birabine batsendela yetika chagwa. Apa nomba bade. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo. Wakuvota bade. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo. Wakufuatika. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo. bakufuatika fuatika kwenyu tayakwa kwe aikona man itayakwa takuliati kwenyu
HH does not mean well for Mother Zambia. Zambia to Asebana, this is not the Mother Zambia that we were left with by our ancestors, our forefathers who fought so hard to liberate us. Dr. Kenneth Kaunda, Nalumino Mundia, Mama Julia Chikamoneka, Simon Mwansaka Pwepwe, they fought so hard to put this country on the map, to put this country where it is today. No man would destroy this country because we believe in unity. One Zambia, one nation, and we shall together we will change, and we are going to change this government. My name is Blaze Zambia.